Frost, get lost, get lost. Little Jack Frost, get lost. You don't do a thing but put the bite on my nose. Freeze up the ground and take the bloom from the rose. So little Jack Frost, go away, go away. And don't you come back another day. There's lots of cold feet, all the lovers complain. You turned off the heat down in Lover's Lane. The bench in the park is all alone in the dark. So little Jack Frost, get lost, get lost. Little Jack Frost, get lost. Well, I just felt that was an appropriate song for today since we're sitting under an extreme cold warning here in Saskatchewan. And I had to make a quick trip out to the store, and yeah, it's extremely cold out there. But spring can't be too far off, can it? Well, probably not for us till May, I'm guessing. Usually April's a bit iffy, and I never take my snow tires off my vehicle till the end of the month of April. And the worst blizzard I've ever been in my life happened on the 27th of June, so you just never know here in the prairies. Life can be exciting and a challenge. But let's get to today's challenge. We're going to make a dessert which is a take on an apple crisp, only you'll see our differences pretty quick. Let's move the camera over so you can see things a little more up close and personal. Alright, so several things today. There's kind of 3 steps to this. The first things you need to do though, well, I guess 4 steps if you count these things, or maybe 5 depending how you want to split it up. But you want to grease or butter an 8x8 2-quart casserole. You want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, step 1 in the mixing, you want a 1/2 cup of graham cracker crumbs. And you want a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, packed. And we're going to mix those together as well as we can. Now this is sort of sounding like a little bit like a graham cracker pie crust, and it's, in a way it is, but I'm not putting in the butter or the margarine. I just want to mix these together well. Actually, a whisk could probably do the job as well as anything else. I was using a fork because I tend to get lumps in the brown sugar and I want to get those out if I can. When I was a kid, I never complained about lumps in the brown sugar because when Mom wasn't looking, I'd sneak one out, and that was kind of like a little treat. But when you're cooking with it, well, those lumps can be kind of a bit of a nuisance. Alrighty, I think we got those out good enough. We'll just whisk that together pretty well. That's all there is to step 1. Then we're going to sprinkle those in the bottom of our dish here. And just kind of shake it around a bit and hopefully get it a little bit even. There we go. Now once that's done, the next step is going to be our fruit, and you're going to want a banana, or maybe 2 depending on how big your bananas are. And we're going to take a knife and we're going to slice our banana and place banana slices on the bottom here. Now instead of making you watch me slice this banana, I could have done it ahead of time, I guess. So I'll apologize to you for those of you that are a little on the impatient side and don't like having to wait around for me to do this little chore here. Once we've got our banana sliced on there, like I say, if you prefer more banana, you could use 2 bananas. We're going to take a cup of apple slices. Now what I do, these were previously frozen, is when they have those bags of apples on sale at the grocery store, I'll usually buy a bag or 2 and I'll go ahead and just peel and slice and core the whole bag and put them into 1 cup packages.
and freeze them so I have them for future recipes. So there we go. Get that. And then next we're going to take a cup of blueberries. And we just want to kind of make sure they're spread around a little bit more fairly evenly on the top here. You know, you don't, if you have kids, you don't want them fighting over who got the most blueberries in their piece. Well, come to that, if you're an adult, you don't want to be fighting over that either. All right, once that's done, we're going to set that, oh, almost forgot the next step. And a half a cup of chopped pecans, or you could use walnuts if you prefer walnuts. And we're going to sprinkle that over. There we go. Now we're going to set that aside, and we need our bowl back, because what we're going to do now is we're going to take 3/4 of a cup of instant oats or minute oats or Quaker, I think they're called instant oats, aren't they? You want 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. Again, try and get the lumps out of it. Watch the fingers of the little kids as they try and sneak in there and get one, so you don't scrunch their fingers with a fork. Nah, we wouldn't do that, would we? And let's kind of whisk those together. And then you're going to want 3/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Except for that was cinnamon. You want 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon and 3/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. And we'll whisk that all together. Now if you see any big lumps of brown sugar, and while you're in there you can take your fork and kind of crunch them up a little bit. Little lumps aren't too bad, but you don't want the big ones. Right, and then you're going to add to that a half cup of all-purpose white flour. And now you really want to get this blended in together. Well, oh, there's a big chunk of brown sugar. Once you've got that fairly well blended together, you're going to add 1/3 of a cup of soft margarine or butter. You don't want it melted, and you don't want it hard. It's just, you want it soft. And now you're going to take a pastry cutter. If you don't have a pastry cutter, I really encourage you to get one. If you don't, for this recipe, for now, you can use a fork, but it takes a lot more energy and patience than using a pastry cutter. And we're just going to cut that soft margarine or butter into our flour and oat mixture. And you want to do that until it takes on the consistency of small crumbs. All right, once we've got that to that point, chop those up a little bit. We'll bring back our dish, and we're going to sprinkle these over the top. And you can just use your fingers. Wash your hands before you start this recipe, but you can use your fingers to kind of even that out on the top. And once you've got that spread around evenly, it should look like that. It's ready to go in the oven. And as I said earlier, we preheated our oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's get this in the oven. All right, now our dish is prepared and ready to go in the oven. Oven's preheated to 375. We put it in on the top shelf and set the timer for 30 minutes. Now my oven, it takes 30 minutes. It might take 35 depending on your oven, but you'll be able to pretty much tell when it's done. The juices should be bubbling in the bottom, and your top should have a little bit more of a crust look to it and kind of have a golden brown color to it. We'll be back in 30 minutes to see how it turns out.
Oh, little Jack Frost, go away, and don't you come back another day.
Well, I can't do much about Jack Frost other than sing, but a nice warm dessert on a cold winter's night just sort of fits the bill. And our crisp is ready. I've got it out. I'll bring the camera over for a closer look. Well, there we have it. It's cooked and out of the oven. You can see the juices are just bubbling up a little bit there. Nice sort of golden brown color to the top, and it's going to taste delicious. I'll take some pictures after I serve it up. Put a nice glob of ice cream on the top, and it should be nice and heartwarming and help us get through this really cold, cold winter. Until next time, when we have Tuesdays with the Pilgrim and a few fun facts in between, take care, stay safe, and God bless.